This video is a reaction to Painless 360's video about mixing two throttle inputs together using OpenTX. This way you can use a slider when hand launching a plane, but afterwards you can just use a stick as normal. His method used the flight modes available in software, but this apparently caused a problem for some people. My method will show you a way without using the flight modes, so the problem should be solved this way. So to get started, first let's make a new model. You can call it whatever you want. And now we can edit this. The first thing you'll want to do is add another input. And this input will be the slider that you'll be using when hand launching. So I'll call it throttle slider, and the source will be either the left or the right slider. I'll choose the left slider. Okay. Then the next step is go into the mixes and add another throttle channel. So just right click and add. Name. This will also be throttle slider. And the source will be the input we just made up. It's throttle slider. Okay. But now we have two throttle inputs, and if we simulate this, you can see both will change the throttle. This isn't what we want, so we'll need to be able to switch between these two. The way we do this is by adding a switch. If you edit this, you can see here there is an option called switch. You can set it to any switch on the transmitter, but we aren't going to use one on the transmitter. We are going to use a software switch, also known as a logical switch. So we'll go to the logical switches and add a new one. What we want is when the stick, so the normal throttle, not the throttle slider, goes above a certain value. For demonstration purposes I'll just use 80. Then we want to change the throttle from the slider to the normal one. So we can edit this, and if we put in the switch logic 1 is off, so when logic 1 is off, the slider will be able to be used. And then if we edit this and put logic 1 here, then we'll be able to use the normal throttle when L1 or logic 1 is on. So right now we can only use the slider but not the stick. If we go above 80, it will switch to the stick. But here you can see the problem. Whenever we go back down below 80, it changes back to the slider. This isn't what we want. We can change this by adding another logical switch. So the second logical switch will be a sticky switch. This sticky switch will stay on when it is turned on. So if we just use logic 1 to turn it on, and if we change these switches to logic 2 with the exclamation mark, and then the top one to logic 2 without the exclamation mark, if we simulate this, you can see now we can use a slider. If we go above 80, L1 turns on, and this causes L2 to turn on, which will stay on. And now we can use the stick as normal without interference of the slider. If you want to change back, for instance if you land and want to reset, you can use this column to change it back. For instance, if you use the momentary switch, you can, if you go above 80 and turn it on, you can turn L2 off by just pulling the momentary switch. Okay, thanks for watching and have fun flying.